Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are downtown. It is actually not as bad as they expected it to be. Good morning. Good morning. So we're about to go have some fun. I just met two ladies, and they taught me about glass hunting. Apparently, there is a company here in Savannah that makes they do hot glass. They blow glass structures. And then they hide them in the mornings. And they have 36 hidden, and they give a clue. And the ladies have each found one, and they're searching for more, and they're beautiful. So they give clues. It has something to do with Washington this morning. Good morning, everybody. So if we haven't met, my name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah, Georgia. I go live 7 mornings a week in Savannah, and I bring you guys along with me. So if you've never followed me before, hit that follow button. Come along on the journey. So apparently they've got 36 hidden in Savannah today. And these ladies are walking around looking. It's kind of cool. Here's the oldest house from my knowledge, the oldest house in Savannah. 1790s. But yeah, so they're searching the bushes. And I was like, what are you looking for? And they're like, blown glass. I was like, what? And it's massive pieces. So yeah, it's in the high 40s. It's chilly, but it feels good. Did you find anything? Hey, there's endless opportunities. So kind of cool, huh? So it was clues about Washington. Said the founding fathers. It talked about the founding fathers. It talked about Washington. But it could really very well be a number of places, right? It could be so many different places. It is lovely. So yeah, what if we just happen to find one? I mean, they're massive, but it's a site that I've gotta find and do, because now I'm intrigued. So fun. It's a company in Savannah. I mean, it's a way to get people out to the squares. I mean, it's an awesome idea. And such a pretty thing.
I know, right?
What's it called again?
Hostess City Hot Glass.
I gotta look it up. I gotta remember it though. Hostess City Hot Glass. So fun. Thank you. Oh, were they? I know. Well, I thought that. Or the house that Washington stayed at. Well, somebody look that up on Facebook. Hostess City Hot Glass. Kim, will you email that to me? Because I'm going to forget by the time I get home. And see what the clue is. Hostess City Hot Glass. No, we've gotten very lucky. So if you've never followed me, now we're walking around looking. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, so it's Hostess City Hot Glass. And they hide and do glass. Thank you, Kim. I mean, it could really be a number of areas. Like I said to him, I said, it could be the Cannons. They were in Washington Square, which is where I happened to park today. Good morning. because they thought, oh, Washington, founding fathers. But, I mean, here's the thing. The founding fathers, I mean, it could be a number of people. It could be Washington. It could be Oglethorpe. I mean, because he was the founding father of Savannah. But I need the specific clue. Anybody want to go on that Facebook page and get me the clue? And let's walk and see if we can find it. Good morning, good morning. Because they hid like 30 something of them. I don't know if they do it once a week. Good morning. Somebody found a beautiful, like, pumpkin looking thing. Stained glass that is blown by a company, and they hide pieces all throughout the city. It's like the hunt for the rocks that used to be. But I'm trying to get a gauge on which direction to go in. Yeah, so there's a clue. But I don't know the clue. I remember Kimberly, you texted it to me. I can't check it. I need it in the chat. Well, maybe. We're going on a treasure hunt. Once I get the clue in the chat. Because it'll gauge which way to go. Because they've hidden it all over the city. Founding fathers and Savannah's neighbors since 1971? Or 1791, okay. In the history books, founding fathers in Savannah, neighbors since 1791. Okay, so I got a couple, see with that clue, it's in the history books. Oh, thanks for whoever just subscribed. Thanks, Marianne. This is Broughton Street, lots of shops and great little places on Broughton. So it makes me wonder. Yeah. The elephant ears. I wonder if it is. Let's cross. Yeah, they're over there searching. But it makes me wonder. Yeah, thanks for the follows. Yeah, that was Leopold's. The oldest house, 1791. So that's Warren Square. But then I'm kind of like the founding fathers, that's Washington. You know, we've got Washington's house. Yeah, there's 34 of them hidden. Where have people found them in the comments? What does it show? Because there's the house, the oldest house. Good morning. Yeah, there's a ton of them. And apparently this is quite the to-do.
I gotta call the AC guy.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Scat is quite the do. So again, if we've never met, my name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah. I go live 7 mornings a week, and I bring you guys along with me. So if you've never followed, hit that follow button. We have found a new, and I don't know if they do it every day. Okay, so that makes me wonder, so founding father being Oglethorpe, right? So is it Oglethorpe Square? Is it Oglethorpe? So is it Oglethorpe Square? Is it Oglethorpe Monument? Like Telfair, Wright, and Oglethorpe have been searched. So have Washington. So has Warren. Let's go to Reynolds. Let's search Reynolds. Hey, look, we'll just search the squares. Yeah, isn't that funny? But they're massive pieces too. Are you seeing them in the chat? Oh my goodness, there's so much. See, I don't remember the date the cannons were given to the city, but we are walking over there. Yeah, I mean, like huge. And the one the lady found that was walking around, she had a massive one. Yeah. I mean, it's not like when they said they were looking for glass, I was like, what do you mean? Like little pieces? And then she was like, wait. She was like, no, this. And the one lady who had found one showed it to me, and I was like, holy guacamole, that's massive. Yes, correct. So they hit 34. Catherine Green. But so here's the question. Could it be a square that Catherine Green hung out in? I mean, there's multiple opportunities. Yeah, they hit 34. So we're like on this hunt. They said Wright Square's already been searched. Like, I'm not digging in plants though. You would think they would put them somewhere that is of, right? Like of noticeable, that it kind of sticks out. Right? Yeah, no. And those plants are in every darn square. I mean, so, okay. We can either go to the cannons, or we can turn around and go to Oglethorpe Square. I feel like they hide them in the squares. Again, if you've never followed me, hit the follow button, tap that screen. What should we do, guys? Should we go back to Oglethorpe Square, or should we go to the cannons? Let's go to the cannons. Let's head to the cannons. Yeah, those plants are in every darn square. So good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Corey. Excuse me. I'm a local in Savannah, Georgia. I go live 7 days a week. And so before I started the live this morning, I met two ladies that were like digging in bushes. And I was like, what are you doing? And they were like, we're looking for glass. I was like, what? And they're like, there's a company that hides glass throughout the city, and they give you a clue and you look for it. And I was like, say what? And then the woman showed me the one she had found already, and it was this massive piece. And I was like, what in the world? Yeah, so there's 34 of them hidden today. So now we're on this ding-dang hunt based off of one clue.
Wait.
Really? It's a website.
Wait.
It was pretty substantial.
Wait.
No, it was a pretty big piece.
Wait.
So it's glass.
Wait.
And the clue had to do with 1791.
Wait.
And it had to do...
One sign is on across.
Are you kidding me? Seriously, dude? Ugh. So the bus runs the red light. I have a walking. Good morning. Yeah, it's Hostess City glass. And apparently they've hidden 34 of them this morning. She was like, don't tell anybody what it's called until after everybody finds them. And I said, well, nobody follows me really is from Savannah, so we're good. So let's go see the cannons. Maybe they're over at the cannons. Because the clue was the founding father, 1791, which is Washington. We'll go to Johnson Square next because, I mean, Washington was all over this city. So he really could have, I mean, they could have hidden. They hid 34. That's a lot. I don't think so. So we're going to check the cannons. Here's the old City Exchange bell. This is what used to ring back in the 1700s. Yeah, so we've got Washington Street. We've got Washington Square. So, but like I told him, I literally then I ranted off like every piece of history that I know about Washington in this community. And so they were like, how do you know that? And I told them my username, gave them some stickers. So, okay, so what we're looking for. We're in search of glass that is hidden. Yeah, that's a square we'll go see. But look, here's the cannons and here's those plants again. So here's the cannons. Here's these plants. I wish I knew where they were finding them. Because it's kind of a neat... Yeah, almost like geocaching. Except cooler, right? Like... Definitely like geocaching. Here you go. These bronze cannons were presented to the Chatham Artillery after his visit in Savannah in 1791. So it's got to be something to do with Washington. Like, it's something, it's a lot to do with Washington. Hidden glass from Hostess City, yeah, is what we're looking for. That I had no idea about. I didn't even know it was a thing. And then lo and behold, I ran into two ladies this morning that were looking, and one had found one and showed it to me, and I was like, what in the world are you doing? Because I said, are y'all looking for something? And they're like, yeah, glass. I was like, what? But while we're here, look at the cute locks. Are they? So I've walked too far? So they hide them all in the same area? Is that what you're telling me? So they're all in the same kind of general vicinity? Is that what you're saying? So I need to go back to the squares? It's like 50. Well, that's bootleg. That's ding dang bootleg. let's head back that direction. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. They keep stressing the year 1791, which is when Washington came to Savannah. He went to numerous places, though. That makes me think that it's not just those squares, right? So again, if you've never followed me before, hit that follow button. My name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah. I go live 7 mornings a week here and bring you guys along with me. Because, like, this is the old cotton exchange. Like, really, the places it could be, there's a multitude. Could be. Yeah, it definitely could be. There's multiple places that it could be. They've only got one clue tray about Founding Fathers 1791 neighborhood. So it's Oglethorpe, right? Like, I mean, it's Washington. No. We are searching for glass. That I discovered these 2 ladies searching for. I had never heard about it. You see, that was my next thought. Yep. Is his house, right? That he stayed in. That's where I was going to walk next. That was my next thought is, what if it's the house he stayed in? Like, highly possible. Yeah, it's definitely something about George Washington. It's just a matter of what. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, we're heading to Johnson Square now. Because again, yeah, it is kind of fun. But again, if you've never followed me before, good morning. My name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah. I go on morning walks 7 days a week here in Savannah, and I bring you guys along with me. We never know where we might be, what we might see, or what we might do. Yeah, Trey's in here, Savannah, Georgia. So follow me if you've never followed me. We never know what adventure we're going on. I just discovered a lady today, 2 ladies, and they were digging in bushes. And I was like, what are you doing? And they were like looking for glass, and I thought like little pieces. And then the lady shows me, no, this size glass, and it's this monumental glass that I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, they hide them. And according to the website, there's 34 of them. Yeah, the pictures of the found ones are crazy. Like, they're big. So we'll cut through Johnson Square, then we'll come up on the square, or the house. We'll go to the house that he stayed at. You get to keep the glass. It's beautiful, too. Like, it's blown glass. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's where I'm walking by right now. Is the pink house. Because Planter's in. Yeah, because now you're curious, aren't you? you're like, huh, this is interesting. I mean, because they hit a bunch of them. I mean, 34, that's a pretty substantial note, right? Yeah, they were pretty big. Like I would have to hold it with both hands. Big. Yeah. That's the site. I'd never heard of them before. Honestly, I was like, what? So now we're on a hunt. Yes, some are smaller. Okay, cool. How many have been found? No, product made. I mean, Trey, there's so many places. Yeah, I'll just keep walking. If I look out, cool. If not, no biggie today. Because I'm sure they do it another day, right? Yeah, there are technically 7 founding fathers. That's why I'm kind of going to different places. But I really think because of the 1791, I'm really thinking we're talking Washington. Hey, this is a massive square to look in. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Hey, you never know. We're going to get our walk in today, though, which we did not suspect to do. Yeah. Well, normally I go on morning walks at this time every day. Like, that is not unusual. But today, we discovered a new adventure. So we're kind of looking while we walk to see if we can find anything. Because, like, Washington hung out in the square a lot. Yeah, no, he was here in 1791. Yeah, well, I'm walking a lot of the footsteps. You see, they're cleaning the squares, too. So they're liable to find stuff and be like, what's this, rubble? Because what the lady found was not a pumpkin. Yep. You are right, he did. Yep. It is a beautiful city. You're right. I mean, it's kind of fun. Nonetheless, it is fun to do. I had no idea it existed. Yeah, so they found the lady that I saw. She had this clear looking ball. It was really cool. Yeah, I remember the house. It was General McCacklin, his home, over on Liberty. Which, we'll walk that way anyway, so. I wonder how often they do it. This is Johnson Square, by the way, one of the original 4 squares. Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Like, the ones they're finding are absolutely stunning. Like, it's beautiful blown glass. Not like when they showed me, because I was like, okay, they're looking for glass. And then she showed me, and I was like, dude, what? Ah, cool. Okay, so they do it monthly. Well, that's cool to know. Now we know once a month what we're doing. They are in the same area. Okay. So we're heading back to the left. User, not right now. However, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, A Day in the Life of Corey, I have a whole video where we walk the steps of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Do I need to cut down here? Can I cut through around, or do I need to cut? Okay, cool. Thank you. This is Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, Franklin Square. There's a lot of squares. I don't know, guys. The mayor said this could be done by Thanksgiving. It is getting farther done. This page is going to be like, why do we suddenly have so many new followers? Yeah, what do you want to talk about? It's been going on forever. Mayor says it's going to be done by Thanksgiving. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. I will be absolutely stunned if they do. Good morning. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. They're not building anything. They're redoing the roads. And while they were redoing the roads, they decided to redo the pipes because they desperately needed to. And so they've been working on it for years, literally. I know, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, it was only supposed to take a couple months. We're going on 2 years now. It has been a process. It's ridiculous. It is taking so long. But the mayor came out and said, oh, it'll be done by Thanksgiving. Okay. Actually, it's not horrible. It was way more cloudier yesterday. So if you've never followed me before, good morning. My name is Corey. I'm a local here in Savannah. I go live 7 mornings a week here, and I bring you guys along with me. We walk and we chat, and in the process, I've lost 99 pounds, and I bring you live every morning. Bye, Trey. No, Thanksgiving like next week. So we always have an adventure. You never know what I'm going to see, who I'm going to see, or what we're going to do. But if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel of the same name, hop over there. I take our daily walks in their entirety and load them up. So you'll see all kind of things. They were in Washington and Warren. We're walking under the Marshall House, which was founded by Catherine Marshall. She built this as mainly as a hotel for Union and Confederate soldiers. We are in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, we started in Washington Square, ironically, right? Or no, we actually started over there. Yeah, Washington. And we're heading back toward that area. What square emojis did he use? Kim. That's cool. Thanks for the follows. Yeah, what emojis? Because we're heading back over to those squares. Or in that area. Yeah, it's chilly this morning. So you've got SCAD, the home of the SCAD Film Festival. Friday, they actually all leave for break. So they'll leave for Thanksgiving. And they don't come back until January. Consistently about 8 months. I've been bringing you guys along with me for the past 7 months. If you're going to live in historical Savannah, yes. You're looking at $1 million homes plus, and millions on the cheap side. Tony Atkin loved the team spirit. I don't understand that clue at all. Like, I'm very confused about that clue. Thank you. And thanks for all the follows. Like, what does that clue even mean? All right, let's go back to the original squares and dig some more. Or see if we see the ladies. Savannah bananas. Yeah, it sounds like they've put them in kind of the same squares. Thanks for all the likes, y'all. Oh, okay. I wish I could find the ladies again to see what they found, if they found any more. There are certain squares, yeah. See, in my opinion, it was way colder the other day than it is today. A company does. Hold on, I'm looking. Okay. So it's definitely squares. Yeah, so if they're in the same squares, you got to remember, guys, we got 22 squares in Savannah. I don't know. That's the other thing. There were 34 to find. Have all 34 been found? Google will tell you that, Larry. There's a ton of people in the square looking. I mean, they're definitely looking in these squares. Yeah, lots of people looking now. Looking for glass?
Oh, yeah. haven't found anything. They're saying this square or Washington Square.
Yeah, I met two ladies earlier. One had found one had not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good luck. So everybody's saying this square or Washington Square. So could all 34 be found? Absolutely. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people. I never had any idea. They could very well. Where is Franklin Square? I don't know which square that is. I got to get my bearings. Anybody know? We're looking for glass. Yeah, I know. This house is beautiful. Isn't this Franklin Square? Am I in? Oh, by Vinny's? Ooh, that's way opposite. But see, everybody's saying it's these two squares. And they have kind of confirmed that it is like near each other. So I kind of think it's either this square or Washington. But it's a good bet that they found it all. They just haven't posted pictures. Which house? This yellow one? Yeah. Neighbors. So the two squares are neighbors. I mean, I would not suspect them to put them like in somebody's yard. Beige and black shutters, so right here. So, I mean, definitely beige and black shutters right here. How fun. Let's head back over to Washington and dig. You would think I'm suspectful, or I'm suspicious that they've already found them. Right? Like that they've all been found. Yep. It's a scavenger hunt that a local glass blowing company did, where they hid 34 pieces. And they're actually really pretty. But now it is actually something that I will pay more attention to in the next future. Savannah does have a lot of history. If you've never followed me before, I go live 7 mornings a week from 8:30 to 10:30. Really? Okay, well that's cool. Oh look, there's a kitty. Hello, kitty. It does make... Yeah, but they said neighboring, and so I really suspect that it's one of these two squares. Especially if they put cameras up, right? Like, if they put cameras up to make sure that nobody took more than one. Yeah. But they may not know. So if people have not posted pictures, right, Holly? So if people haven't posted the pictures, people may not know if any are left. They may have been posted, you know what I mean? They got to wait for people to post pictures. I don't know. Here's a beige. See a beige and black shutters? True. But here's another home with beige and black shutters. So this is Washington Square. There's those plants again. It is really cool and interesting, isn't it? Y'all are cracking me up though, because y'all are like, go here, go here. I mean, I just kind of feel like it would be in these two squares. We are in Washington Square looking for glass. But now it's something we do know about, you guys, and we definitely will, search when they release more. Had I not already paid $3 to park, I would go drive all the way over to Franklin Square and park. But it's kind of cool. I mean, the ones people have posted that they found is pretty dang wild. We're at Savannah, Georgia. We're searching for glass. It is in the 40s. Yeah, so there is a stained glass company that hides glass once a month. I just learned about it. I had no idea. I found some ladies digging in plants and bushes, and I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're looking for glass. I was like, what do you mean you're looking for glass? And then they told me what they were doing. And I was like, seriously? And they showed me the one lady had found. And I was like, what? So they hit 34. Based on the clues, they are located in a couple of squares. But I really suspect all 34 have probably been found by this point. Because what time did they post it? Would be my question. It's like the grown-up version of rocks. Finding rocks. It is definitely the grown-up version of rock finding. Yeah, 2 hours ago. But if they never announce, I mean, you never know. It's kind of cool, though. I mean, it's cool to walk and look and see. It would be helpful to know if it's only in the two. I find it hard to believe that they have 34 in 2 squares. But you don't ever know, right? Okay, so not all have been checked in. Interesting. Well, dang, y'all. Interesting. So not all had been checked in. This is Washington Square. Yeah, they used to do that here. But this is like the adult version of painting rocks. It's just blast finding. Should I move my car? Because y'all, Franklin is like way on the opposite side. Like super far. They're pretty substantial. Well, I mean, most of them are. But they're going to be big enough that you see them. If you go on their website, they're pretty big. I mean, kind of cool though. It's definitely something we will, in the future, pay attention to. Did you? That's cool. Yeah, so it's blown glass. Like it's beautiful. If you go on the site, it's like they blow the glass. They hide them throughout. Palm-sized pumpkins. Okay. Okay, so they're somewhere, but not all have been checked in. Okay, let's keep walking around. So palm size isn't giant. Oh, dang. Really? That makes it more complicated, though, if you found multiple ones. Because wouldn't it be that the people know where they hid them, right? And so if they knew where they hid them... Oh, thank you for the chill. Brr. If they knew where they hid them and then somebody found them and re-hid them somewhere else, wouldn't that make it more complicated for the company? Because then the company doesn't know where they all got hidden. Wish I knew if I were getting warmer or colder. And I wish I knew what I ding dang was looking for. It is. It's like a needle in the dang haystack. But we're going to keep looking. If it's between these two... thank you for the GIF. But here's my thing. Yeah, so now... But if they're pretty sure that they're between these two squares... Like, has there been confirmation that they actually found some in Warren Square? That's my first question. Yeah, that's my thing. If you find one, leave the rest. That's my opinion. For others. Don't go and dang hide them. Or if you're going to re-hide them. So what they're saying is they're between Washington Square and Warren Square. Those are the two squares that they should be in, if there's any left. Right? Hopefully. Hopefully that's what she did. I'm not digging through plants because I'm not going to do that. I'm just perusing around looking. It would be helpful to know if they had found all of them, though. We're walking the outskirts now. And here's my thing. Did she hide, like, the lady that re-hid? Oh, yeah. There'll always be more. Exactly. It's not a big deal. But here's my question. If she hid them, like, so did the company hide them in the squares? And then the lady that found more, did she hide him elsewhere? That's my other question. I have a lot of questions right now. Because I would suspect with it being a company that they've hid them all in a square, right? Well, no, so next time, now that I know what they do, we'll start earlier and I will, because I've seen people, okay, so I have seen the people around before where they are digging in the leaves and I'm like, what are these people doing? I don't understand. And now I know. Good morning, good morning. So this is Washington Square, as you can see. We are currently glass hunting. So there is a glass blowing company that hides glass. I had no idea that's what they did. Like zero knowledge that they did that. And I met two ladies this morning who were glass hunting. One had found something. They said there's 34 pieces hidden. And based on the clue, they have been found in Washington, and then you would suspect Warren Square. Those two places. Those would be the two neighboring. Well, I haven't found one, so you can go on their website and see them. That's what we're hunting for. We're on a hunt. Right? Well, and here's the thing. They could have already been found. Could be that all 34 have been found. They just have not been checked in. Oh, that's fun. No, they apparently do it monthly. I had never heard about it. Apparently they do it on the weekends. It'd be helpful to know if the lady that found multiple and re-hid them did so in the same squares. There's a lady looking. Have you found anything yet?
No, I never figured the clues out early enough. But it's fun to come out and look.
It is fun, isn't it?
This gets me out the house.
I just learned about it today for the first time. I met two ladies, and one had found one in the square, and they were like, we figure it's Warren and Washington are the two squares.
Yeah.
But somebody in the boards put that they had found multiple and re-hid some, so that makes it a whole nother event.
Right. Well, they want to find the thing they like best.
Yep.
So.
It's funny, though. Well, good luck. Yeah, it's pretty chilly. Yeah, I looked around the trash cans. Let's walk back over to Warren. Okay, so that's good to know that they posted the clue at like 6:30 this morning. So that gives me an idea of when they usually post them. But that means, y'all, I'm going to tell you what. If they typically post it that early, that tells me that you got some ladies, I guarantee you, that you got ladies who literally are waiting for that post. It's 1791, Founding Fathers. It's Washington and Warren. I mean, that's definitely, they're in these two squares. That has been 100% confirmed. Or between the two squares, right? Like, This isn't a house, just FYI. I know. Oh, yeah. You know. Well, I mean, they're pretty big pieces. So if they do it monthly, I bet you there's people that like gun-ho go, right? I mean, like, I'm sure there's people that like set their alarms. Because here's my thing. Do they post and say, hey, tomorrow we're going to be posting clues? You get the piece of glass. Oh, look, it's a book. It's a book. It's not just a little piece of glass. You need to go on their website and look. Like, it's beautiful blown glass. Like, that's the thing. It's not like it's pretty. Like, you'd pay some good money for it if you went and bought it. See, and so people knew that. So you got people who are like gun-ho, right? I ain't looking in the book because it's at the front doorstep. But it's kind of cool though. Good morning.
Big girl, you see the Jeep up there?
You're only supposed to keep one. So if you find, it says if you find multiples, please only keep one. So she found multiples, and instead of just leaving them be and letting them stay hidden, she took them and re-hid them. There are rules to this game, folks. So if you don't follow the rules, that make it as fun. But anyway, so we now know about this adventure that we did not know before. We learned something new every day in Savannah. Oh, y'all, this was the house that was under that big tarp yesterday. This is that house that got fumigated and had the big red tarp over it. Huh, interesting. Don't go in. It's got poison. Yeah, and that's what they do. So some of these ladies, they are like, I'm going to gather all the ones I find, and I'm going to see which ones I like the best. And that's the one I'm going to keep. And then I'll re-hide. She could have. I mean, yeah. But again, we have no confirmation. Like 30 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago, they said that not all had been found, right? So have they all been found now? Nobody knows. Look at the pretty flowers. But, I mean, it's something cool. Like, I guarantee this lady's hunting because she's got glasses on, chilling. So, it's between these two squares. But like I said, there's no telling. Ah, thanks, Kim. Kim's like, detective on... I'm searching. Like, this lady is chilling out there in her sunglasses. Makes me think she either has something to do with it or she's searching the sites. Yeah, did you hide them in the same place, ma'am? Yep, and we walked past them, and those videos are loaded over on my YouTube at A Day in the Life of Corey. If you don't subscribe there, we have visited many Memorial Day, Veterans Day memorials. So, if you haven't subscribed over to my YouTube, you're missing out a ton, Sandra. Again, I upload my daily walks in their entirety every morning. I upload them unedited so you can see all the adventures that we go on. Yeah, and so here's the thing. There are those elephant ears in every square. Like every square. So, yep, that's called Forsyth Park. There are 22 squares in Savannah. There are gangs everywhere, sweet person. Again, if you're new to my live, this is a positive live. We don't do negativity. If you're here to talk trash about Savannah, you will be muted and blocked. Kinda. Near the Kehoe house. I think they're all looking too. Lots of people looking. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's sit down for a minute and let me rest my arms. Savannah is about 150,000 in size. So it is a pretty substantial size town. All right. See, I can't dig. Like, I'm not digging in the bushes. Kehoe house is the next square up. Ugh. Thanks for the wishing bottles. I wish I may, I wish I might find some glass. Because it's a sight. Hello from Orlando, Florida. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. She's like digging. I am not digging in bushes, y'all. It's definitely an adventure, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Did you find anything?
Nope. I've been looking since 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh, my word. Now, I was with somebody. They had found something in Warren Square. It's pretty big.
So this is Warren Square.
This is Warren Square. So they said it was either Warren or Washington were the two squares that they...
So I checked Washington first.
Yeah.
And I searched for about 45 minutes. Then I went all the way to Franklin.
Did you see anything in Franklin?
A bunch of trash.
Well, I walked over to the Cannons, Martha and George.
Okay.
Looked over there because I was like, well, maybe you're talking Washington. But somebody on the site said they found multiple ones and they re-hid them. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Yeah. So did they re-hide them in the squares?
In the same place?
Or did they re-hide them out of the squares?
Well, I think I'm going to go and grab something out my Jeep that I just forgot. And then I'm going to...
And more adventures, right?
I done paid for parking again, so...
Oh, gosh.
Come on, big girl. What do you find, big girl?
Well, good luck.
Thank you. You too.
Let's keep moving. That's pretty funny. Well, and that's so about 45 minutes ago, they put on the page that not all had been checked in.
Yeah, that
does
was
it
to
mean?
Me. That was to my comment.
Okay, cool. So, doesn't mean they haven't all been found, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it mean?
That was to my comment.
Okay, cool. So, doesn't mean they haven't all been found, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it mean?
That was to my comment.
Okay, cool. So, doesn't mean they haven't all been found, right?
Yeah.
Like, mean they haven't all been found, right? Like,
okay, come on. Back to the square we go.
have fun. So there are some definite die-hard people who are like hardcore looking. So good morning, everyone. If we haven't met, my name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah, Georgia. I go live 7 mornings a week from 8:30 to 10:30. So today, when I parked, I met 2 ladies who search apparently once a month. The site posts that they've hidden blown glass pieces throughout. They give a clue and you go look for it. I had never heard of such, but one of the ladies had found a piece, and then on the website it showed other pieces. Now apparently they post it at like 6:30 in the morning. They do it once a month, usually on weekends, and apparently it's quite the event. So if you look in the chat, it's been posted multiple times about the name of the shop. So yeah, so apparently they hid 34 pieces. It said that on the chat, one person found multiple and then re-hid. So who knows where she re-hid. But that one lady said she spent 45 minutes. She said she went all the way over to Franklin. So it saved us a trip. And she said nothing's over there. She just spent 45 minutes in Washington digging. Yeah, now we know for next time. Kind of fun though. I mean, what a neat little kind of event. Someone asked earlier, hey, cool, they're on Etsy. Way to get their business out. Mad props. I mean, hey, I'm not knocking it. It's kind of cool because it really... it's called Hostess City Hot Glass. So this is the Kehoe house. So this is Columbia Square. This home right here is called the Kehoe house. When it was originally built, the land was bought for $950. The house was built for $25,000. Right? That's the Davenport house. So if you've never followed me, hit that follow button. Thanks for over 100 new followers today, because we're at 16.2 thousand. Originally, there used to be a gate right here to enter the city of Savannah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, like I said, you just really never know what we're going to see or do on a morning walk. We've come across movie sets. We've come across all the things. Yep, we were over there already this morning. I pointed it out as we passed it on our adventures. It's probably over on my YouTube as well. So again, if you've never subscribed to my YouTube, A Day in the Life of Corey, definitely do so. This is the original Kehoe sign, which makes me laugh every time I see it, because they have an historical end instead of a historical end. That'd be fun. Oh, they put lights in the trees. We are in Savannah, Georgia. So I go live 7 mornings a week from 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. I've lost 99 pounds in the process. So I bring you guys along. We walk. We look at things. Really, you never know what we're going to see or do. There have been mornings that we have seen celebrities, movie sets, hunt for glass. I mean, it really is just a multitude of events. Yep, Forsyth Park on the weekends has a lot going on. There's always something going on in Savannah. We were at Forsyth Park yesterday. I do go live at night from 5:30 to 7 on what's called Back Porch Chat Time. In Back Porch Chat Time, we're on my back porch and we chat about all kind of different things. The other day, we watched Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and I gave commentary on what was factual and not factual. And then the next day, we did a walking tour, if you will, of all the filming locations of Midnight. So my diet doesn't exist. I do not eat stuff. You'll see on my morning walk. So the way I have lost the weight is 3 ways. 1, walking consistently every day. That's the first. 2, good morning.
Good morning.
A little chilly today, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
2, drinking lots of water. And 3, a regimented vitamin that I do. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, all of that information is on my link tree. So if you hit my name up top, you can find access to all my links. If you have questions, you can email me at adayinthelifeofcorey@gmail.com. I'll answer all your questions. So this is the Owen Thomas house. First house to have running water in Savannah. It's really about attacking your gut health and losing weight that way. Yep, they had the first indoor plumbing. Thanks for the star. This is Oglethorpe Square. Oh, that's okay. Look, y'all know. Sometimes I get beignets. Sometimes I get a peach waffle. You never know what I'm going to get. That's awesome. Let's rest for a minute. I'm trying to decide what I want for breakfast this morning. Well, that's cool. Yep, I have a very detailed vitamin regimen that I use that you can't buy at Walmart or Target. So this is Oglethorpe Square. Each of our squares has a unique vibe to it. So some of our squares have fountains, some have monuments. So I talk about my vitamin regimen at night during Back Porch Chat. Also, if you're interested, I always say email me at adayinthelifeofcorey@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to share my routine with you guys. Yeah, I thought about, and then it ended up being a nicer day. The mall opens at 11 today, so I'm not sure. I may go over there, I may not. So yeah, We talk about it at Backport Chat all the time because people ask, and we also talk about it through email. So check it out there. So if you've never followed me before, hit that follow button. We're resting our arm for a minute because this gimbal is heavy. We did not find any glass, but that's okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, those plants are literally, Sheila, in every square. So I think they've all been found, in my opinion. That's my thought. Again, thank you for everyone who subscribed. We're up to 58 subscribers, which is super exciting. There are definitely more people out and about than I suspected would be. So I'm trying to decide for breakfast what I want. If I just want coffee, or if I want to go get something else. I'm really contemplating. You too, Sheila, or Tina. Have a good day. All right, let's go. Let's rock and roll. So today was a different walk. Why? Because we went on this crazy hunt for glass, which was fun. I mean, it was kind of fun. Something different. Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. 34 pizzas. It's a hit or miss if all 34 have been found and all 34 haven't been posted. Look at the horse. Hello, Mr. Horsey. So, it's just a hit or miss. It does feel like a Friday, doesn't it? Oh, that's cool. Well, we now know about it. The city does a remarkable job cleaning, making sure the squares are clean. Awesome. You live on Tatnall. That's great. They're redoing this building. That's kind of fun. Must be almost 10 o'clock. So Leopold's ice cream, the best. Even when it's cold. Good morning, Clay. They do have hot cocoa, artisan coffee, and apple cider. So the walk was interesting this morning. Hello. Good morning, everybody. So, if we haven't met, my name's Corey. I'm a local to Savannah. I go live 7 mornings a week, and I bring you guys along with me. This morning, we went on a different kind of adventure. So, there's a site that apparently once a month they put hot stained glass hidden throughout certain squares based off of a clue. So, we discovered that this morning. So, we spent our morning walking and searching for glass. We didn't find any. But it's okay. Go scare the bees, the bumbles. Zzz. cut through and see if this lady has found, because she said she's parked a couple of times, so apparently it's quite the excitement. I had never heard of it. So she apparently spent 45 minutes in Washington Square. She said she started at 8 a.m. I didn't start until like 8:30. So she started 30 minutes before me. Leopold's ice cream. Yeah, so apparently she started 30 minutes before me and still hasn't found anything. So Leopold's ice cream used to be owned by three brothers that back in the early 1900s opened an ice cream shop. It closed, and then Stratton Leopold, one of the sons, reopened it. It's a fantastic place. Coming back through the square. And then we'll set you guys up in the hands-free set. Probably. We'll see what we're doing today. So yeah, tap that screen. We're at almost 25,000 likes. We've been live since 8:30. So for about an hour and a half, which is our typical norm from about 8:30 to 10:30. Usually about 10 we go get breakfast somewhere. But we are in an area that there's no coffee shops. Yeah, it's kind of cold. So good morning.
Good morning.
Chilly day today.
Is this a tour?
No, I'm not. Nope. But I hope you have a good tour.
Well, why isn't anybody here?
You have a tour guide?
Tour
Oh,
guide?
I'm sorry.
10 o'clock?
Interesting. Hopefully they're on their way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a contact number?
Let's see. Got it.
Where are you guys from?
Atlanta.
Oh, cool. I used to live in Atlanta in Conyers,
Oh.
Rockdale County. So,
Yeah.
I worked
I don't have. I just.
Covington for 11
oh,
years.
yes.
I just have the number where my registration number.
Oh,
That's Warren Square, right?
yeah, you're in Warren Square. Hopefully they come up. Interesting.
Well, we can hunt them down.
Yeah. but-
Yes, hunt them down. They should come.
Do you have a piece of paper?
So, good luck to you
Nope.
guys.
Well, but I find him on it.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'll find him on it.
Well, that was interesting. Huh. So, I mean, I could have very well took them on a tour, but no thanks. I'm not in for it today. I'm not feeling it. It is 10 o'clock. But again, point in case. Oh, wow, that's cool. Point in case, yet another tour guide. It's 10:01. How are you not here for your tour that you set up? Like, what in the world? Like, why? I'm so confused as to, and she's like, Warren Square. And I was like, I know, I thought that too. I was like, crap. I was like, did she prepay? Because if she prepaid, that's a whole other thing. I'm kind of sitting here now, eavesdropping. Well, look, you have paid me for a service. You don't run late. You are always early. That is my opinion. I agree. Like, if you're running late, you need to contact the people and say, hey, sorry, I'm running late. So now I'm sitting here because I want to see who it is. I'm like chilling. So this couple, I came around the corner and they're like, tour guide? And I was like, no. And they were supposed to meet a tour guide here at 10 a.m. to do a tour. And it is now 10:03. Yep, they were supposed to meet her at 10. She found him on the internet. So I'm sitting in the square now. I was walking to my car, but now I'm just so ding dang curious. But she had her detail. Yep, they're still waiting. So this is the stuff that frustrates the bejeebies out of me. She's on the phone. But no, when you are doing a business, you are on time. I'm sorry. This is the stuff that makes me so mad, y'all. Y'all, I'm about to have to end the live and go help those people because I feel horrible. No, I think she called them. She's called wherever she booked it through. It is. But I'm very cautious, right? Like, because let me see. And then once she gets off the phone, I will see what... I'll pause you guys and go see what the vibe is and see. I want them to get off the phone because I do want them to have a good opinion of Savannah. Yep. Maybe she had the wrong time. Because she's looking at her clock. And it's not true. There's some good ones. But I am sitting here watching because I'm so curious now. I know. Hey, Paulette, how are you? I don't know. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm kind of sitting here. I mean, I could, but it's not my... Like, I'm not a tour guide. That is not my thing. I like it. Some people have different opinions. I am not a tour guide. That is not my thing. What I am is someone who loves Savannah. I'm a local. I show people around. That's a big difference. And I just show people around for the love. So we're hanging out in Washington Square. We're about to wrap up our morning walk, or we're in Warren Square, sorry. And we're on our morning walk, and I came past a couple, and they're like, tour guide? And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, we were supposed to meet our tour guide here at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, well, she's on the phone right now. I'm watching to see. Because they're older. That's the only thing, y'all. They're an older couple. Thank you. I will approach them nicely. If I do. Gosh, y'all, this was not on my agenda today. But I will help them. No, haven't had breakfast yet. Didn't find the glass. Well, she said she found it online. Good morning. Mm-hmm. Trees are beautiful. I mean, so dang annoying. Y'all, why do tour guides do this? Why do you book a trip and you don't? Like, why do you book a trip and then you don't? Is she still on the phone? I really hope they didn't get scammed either. Alright, I'm gonna pause you guys. I'll be right back, okay? Let me get scammed either. Alright, I'm gonna pause you guys. I'll be right back, okay? Let me get. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so I went over to see how I could help, and I was like, hey, I'm a local. If you need me to show you around, I don't mind it. They're still bantering. They're on another call with somebody else trying to figure it out. But yeah, clearly she paid for it. She's got a confirmation number. Yep. So I was like, well, I can show you around if you need somebody to show you around. I'm just hanging out over there. Just let me know. Yeah, their tour guide was supposed to be here at 10. She booked it online. She has a confirmation number. It's not the first time. It's not the first time that they'll be scammed. Like, unfortunately, this is the stuff I tell you guys, and people get mad at me, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, no, I do. And point in case, yeah, their tour guide was supposed to be here at 10 o'clock, and the tour guide hasn't shown up. That's the problem, Mystic. And they've already prepaid for this tour. I don't know. I didn't ask too many details to find out. Because they're still trying to figure it out. So I'm just chilling out now, waiting to see if they need more help. I said, I'll be over there chilling. If you go to the site, Shelly, the company Facebook page, they have pieces that were found today. But like I tell y'all all the time, I say, be cautious of the tour guides you use here in Savannah. Exactly. I know, I tell you all the time. In my lives, I tell you all the time to be cautious about the tour guides, especially the private tours you do, because they're scammers, and point in case. Yep. But unfortunately, they have an interesting route that they go, and so it's hard to figure out who they really are. It depends on the tour. Private tours are usually way more, because private tours usually run anywhere between, I mean, like you could $50 per person. So if you have a group, I mean, private tours are expensive, and it's just the two of them. I have multiple. Huckapoos on Tybie's, good pizza. Trailer Park Hitch is super yummy. Maribel's is super yummy. You do. Yep, and I say it all the time in my lives. And people get all huffy puffy at me and get mad at me because they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're taking away from business of the tour guides. I'm like, no, I'm not. They're scammers. Point in case, it is now 10:16. These people were supposed to meet their tour guide at 10, and there's no tour guide. They're still on the phone figuring it out. Well, that's my thing. This is the stuff I keep telling y'all about. And everybody gets their panties in a water. Are you a certified tour guide? No, I never said I was a tour guide person. First and point. Clearly. They just had a confirmation number. Nope, they just had a confirmation number. I hope they can too, because I'm going to tell you right now, if it's a private tour, they've paid a good amount for it. Especially depending, usually it depends. Tour guides sometimes, especially private tours, they charge by the hour. Some have a flat rate. So it just, I mean, it really depends. I don't know. They were standing in the square when I walked up, I was heading back to my car. And they were standing in the square and they said, "Oh, are you our tour guide?" And I was like, "No." But yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that that's why I never take money ahead of time. When I show people around Savannah, I'm showing you and then you can tip me. No, nobody's around looking for glass. The glass hunt is over. Yay, good job, Cam. Way to go. Yeah, if nothing else, I'll help them go get to their trolley. But they're off the phone. I'm not going to interrupt them again. But I told them, if you need help, let me know. I'm just hanging out over there. Nope, I was looking for glass. Looking for glass is now over. They do. Lots of them. That's why I try to tell you guys all the time in our lives. I was like, if you're planning a trip here, check with me first, because no, I would assume it's probably not a miscommunication. I would assume that it is probably they got scammed. Happens here all the time. There's an older couple in one of the squares, Camden, and when I walked up, they're like, "Are you our tour guide?" Oh, they're walking away. I guess they don't want my help. Okay, I offered. So, it's a tour guide, and they booked a trip, or booked a tour apparently, and they were supposed to meet in Warren Square at 10 o'clock, and their tour guide hasn't shown up, so I offered to help them, but they clearly didn't want my help, so they walked away. That's fine. I tried to do a good deed. Yep. So that's fine. I mean, I tried to give them a good deed. I was just going to show them some cool things or give them some guidance. Could be. I definitely could be scared. So, yeah. No, I was like, hey, more than happy to help you guys and show you guys around. Nope. And they walked away. So, you know, what can you do? That's why I tell you guys, if you go on a tour here, if it's not a certified company, check with me, because I'm telling you, there are a ton of scammers out here when it comes to the private tours. No, they've walked away. They left. They said, peace out. Hey, there's a kitty cat. Hello, Mr. Cat. How are you? No, they walked away like they were going probably back to their car. I'm in Savannah, Georgia. And there's another kitty cat. And there's another one. There's a bunch of cats out. Yeah, maybe. They may have thought I was crazy. Or a scammer too. Maybe they thought I was part of the scam. It's not. It's like 50. It's very cold, actually. So, well, we're heading back to my car now. We've been live for almost 2 hours. I don't know. I never know until afterwards. Oh, you missed the whole thing, Kim. So our morning started off where we found these ladies digging in bushes, and they were looking for apparently a company that does the blown glass, hides it once a month, and they had hid 34 pieces. So they give a clue, and it kind of gives you an idea of where the glass is. And so we searched for glass this morning. We didn't find any because apparently they post the clue starting at like 6:30 in the morning. So people are like hard pressed about finding that glass. Anyway, so after that, we walked around a little bit. Then we just discovered an older couple who apparently were supposed to meet their tour guide at 10 a.m. They had booked a private tour online. And guess what? Tour guide was a no-show. Which, sadly, happens more than you realize in Savannah. So I kind of offered to try to help them. They didn't want anything to do with it. So I was like, okay. Because they walked away. Because I was like, I'll sit over there if you need help. Let me know. I can help you and kind of direct you. And they were like... So... Unfortunately, that happens more than you know. Where people, unfortunately, get scammed. On these private tours. Which looks to me what happened. Unfortunately. It is sad. This is what I say. Guys, if you're doing a private tour, if you're not with one of the big companies, if you're doing a private tour, anybody can create a website. Anybody. And so if you are like, I'm going to do a private tour, please, please, please message me. And let me tell you if it's a notable person. Anybody can, look, to have your official tour guide's license, all you have to do is pay $50 and take a test and pass it. And, of course, do a background check. That's it. And then you get what's called your official tour license of Savannah. Anybody can do it. Anybody. And guess what happens then? Point in case, that is not the first time we've come into this occurrence. One time, we saw a lady in a square that didn't even know basic Savannah history. But she had somebody with her. Hopefully she was just like trying her tour guide stuff out. I think she was actually on a tour that day. So if you do a private tour, please know if they're legit. Because private tours typically make you prepay. So you're prepaying for, and you're going to prepay a pretty solid amount. If you are doing a private tour, you're praying before the service ever happens. Doesn't mean it's any good. Let me say that. It definitely doesn't mean it's going to be a good tour. Alright guys, so I got you set up in my hands-free set after that adventure. We have not had breakfast yet. But yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to a tour, you usually either pay a set rate that's going to be either a flat fee for a certain time, or it's going to be a by the hour fee. I do too. Hey, I tried to help. But they walked away, so they didn't want to engage with me, so I didn't engage with them. So she had a confirmation number, which means she paid for it. But you know, stuff like that, and we're driving with a hands-free set. I'm not touching my phone. We do this every day. Moderators, if you'll please put that in the chat, that we are driving with a hands-free set. But sadly, guys, that happens more than you even begin to know. Yeah, it could have been. It's currently 52 here in Savannah. Yep. But you know, again, now that puts a damper on the entire vacation. Like, I'm sure they were super excited to walk around Savannah and learn stuff on a tour, right? Like, it's chilly today, but I bet they were incredibly excited. So, tap that screen. We're heading over to the Oglethorpe Mall. Got some shopping to do to get knocked out, so I wanted to get it done today. Or at least look. Thank you. But yeah, so it's unfortunate because I'm sure they paid a pretty penny. So I say, I'm not a tour guide. I do not know her personally, no. But stuff like that makes me incredibly sad for a number of reasons. But it does happen more than you even begin to imagine here in Savannah. Or any place you really go that is a tour destination. You get scammed. And you know what one of the first warnings was? And when she said it to me when I had you guys paused, this is one of those first warnings you should be aware of. She said, I got a confirmation number, but I didn't get a phone number if we had issues to contact. That's one of the first warnings that was a scam. One of the very first warnings, it was a scam right there. She did not get any kind of contact information for the tour guide. It was just a confirmation number. So that, to me, that sends up multiple red flags. You don't have a contact info. Like, you don't know the tour guide's name. You don't know the tour guide's contact info. What if you had gotten sick and needed to cancel? Like, what if you had different changes? Like, so that kind of sends a lot of red flags up for me. When she said, yeah, like it, she goes, like a dummy, I didn't get a phone number. And I was like, oh. Well, and that's my thing. If it's your first day of your trip, right? Like, if this was your first day of your trip, what a bummer. Because then, I mean, you now have a negative view of the tourist industry of Savannah. Nope. She said all she got was a confirmation number from booking it. She said I didn't get a contact name or number. Like, they didn't give me the name of the tour guide. It was, or the, they didn't give me the name of the tour guide, and they didn't give me a contact number. So that right there, y'all, that sends some definite warning flags up to me. So, rule of thumb is if you're booking a private tour in Savannah, online especially, if you're booking it online, you need to ask the tour guide's name and a contact number should you need to reach out. And here's another red flag. if they are if they are requiring you to pay the full pay ahead, that's another major red flag. Because you're paying for a service you have not received yet. And I guarantee they paid a pretty penny. I guarantee it. I am most definite that they probably paid a pretty penny. Well, she had whatever website she had, she was calling them. Yeah, it's when, exactly, Cindy. That's one thing. Now, Saltwater Mosh, Saltwater Sandy, whatever her name is, I know who you're talking about, that does the ghost tours and stuff. Yeah, I'm not knocking her on her official company. Like, she does. You pay when you arrive. Like, when she arrives, you pay. Then you at least know the tour guide is there. But be super cautious of ever, hey Chris, be super cautious of ever, if you book a tour online, wherever you are, and they require full payment ahead of time, there should be some red flags instantly. So just an unfortunate event for those people. Because it taints Savannah as a whole for you. Because now I've been potentially, not me, but those people have been potentially scammed out of who knows how much for a tour that they're not getting. I do too. I feel really bad for the couple because that's just a bummer. Typically, the rule of thumb, especially with the private tours, is you do not render payment for the service until the tour guide either A, shows up, so the tour guide shows up to you, you pay before the tour starts, or you pay after the tour. And if you prepay for an entire tour, you better have done your research exactly and have confirmed 100% that it is it's a valid tour guide. Because y'all, there's some creeps out there. Again, I'm not a tour guide, but I do show people around Savannah. So, but I did try to help. So not much I can do. I have a clear conscience that I offered the help. Nope, I'm going to the mall. I need some shopping to do. Mall opens at 11. Unfortunate and sad, but it happens more than you guys realize. breakfast, nor have we ate anything or had coffee. What I'm probably do is once I get to the mall, I'm going to end the live for a few minutes. I may come back on at the mall, but I'm going to end it because it doesn't open until 11. So remember yesterday's trivia? What are all signs that are like exit signs? They're either green or red. We were able to go out and walk today, which was nice. I had not suspected to do so based on the weather, but it wasn't horribly cold, and we had a fun adventure in the process. So if you haven't followed me before, hit that follow button. Come along for the journey. What I think I'm going to do now that we're at a stop sign, a red one, I'm going to end the live. I'll come back in a little while probably. Again, no, I did not find any glass.